This week, Fishing the West with host Larry Schoenborn takes you to Washington State's Olympic Peninsula and to the Hoh River, 15 miles south of the logging community of Forks. Headwatering in the Olympic Mountains, the Hoh River flows through a virgin rainforest where the average rainfall exceeds 145 inches or over 12 feet each year. Providing excellent habitat for a variety of game, the Hoh River Valley is the home to the largest remaining herds of Roosevelt elk on the continent. In addition, the Hoh is considered one of the finest fishing streams on the peninsula, yielding salmon, cutthroat, dolly varden, and huge native steelhead that often go 20 pounds or more. We'll be fishing today with pro guide John Truex. John is the owner of Woody's Guide and Charter Service and guides the Strait of Juan de Fuca during the summer while concentrating on the Olympic steelhead streams during the winter. Our drift boat trip will take us down one of John's favorite sections of the Hoh, where both back trolling and casting methods will usually take large native winter steelhead. And with water conditions favorable, the rods will bend.
Welcome to Fishing the West with host Larry Schoenborn. The show, shot over about a 10-year period, covered fishing from Alaska, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and California. Since this was shot in the 1980s and 1990s, you'll notice some dated clothing, some older model vehicles and boats, and a younger Larry. While most of the techniques in these shows are still viable, tackle has continued to evolve. We'll update you on those changes in tackle and changes or modifications in techniques in the quest for steelhead on Fishing the West. Today, Larry travels to northwest Washington State to fish the Hoh River, just south of the logging town of Forks on the Olympic Peninsula. The Hoh is one of several river systems that flow from the glaciers of the Olympic Mountains. The Hoh rainforest is one of the wettest places in the country. Larry is fishing today with pro fishing guide John Truex. They'll be back trolling plugs like hot shots and wiggleworts, as well as drift fishing with corkies and birdies on Fishing the West. Drift fishing and pulling plugs are still very effective, but another technique that has worked particularly well on the Hoh is casting spoons. Bill Herzog, a longtime Northwest writer and fisherman, details this method in spoon fishing for steelhead. Side drifting for steelhead is also common on the Hoh and other Olympic Peninsula rivers, as it allows you to cover many miles of water in a single day. Side drifting is done with longer rods, generally 9.5 foot like this rod from Lamiglas. Most anglers also use light line, either 8 or 10 pound test, with a fluorocarbon leader, and small number 1 or number 2 hooks with just a bit of cured eggs.
What are we going to use today?
Well, if we do any plugging, I'd recommend the number 35 Rattler Hot Shots. The blue with the chrome belly's been really good. As also the we've got a wigglewort in here. That's been awfully hot lately. Yeah, that's it right there. That's that pirate. You
seems to be hot everywhere.
That's been a real good one.
A pirate color, huh?
And I think if we drag some bait divers, we'll use these Hottentots. You put your split ring and swivel on the bottom and...
Okay. If I just put a spin glow and a shrimp behind it about 3.5 feet.
Yeah, I see you're partial to that red one.
What kind of bobbers are you going to use?
Well, normally in this stream, an orange or a orange and white works very well, as has been the rocket red color.
Right.
Of course, pink's always a good color for natives. And occasionally you get them on the chartreuse and flame spin glows, like this one. The glow glows work well. Also, I've got my bait diver rigged up, and I've got a pink one on it.
Tie a leader on with a shrimp. You ever use eggs?
I do occasionally. Depends on how available shrimp are and how good a quality they are.
Got one rig here to troll with and one to cast with.
Okay.
Have to try some of these slinkies today. Have you used them much?
Not very much. I've got so much lead.
Oh, I'll have to give you a couple. They're a little different.
Well, I'm ready to go slay some fish.
All right.
I'll just kind of row along. And
well, don't be afraid to let me roll.
Well, I'd just soon like to see you catch a few fish.
The boat operator has the important task of keeping the boat going downstream at exactly the same speed as the current and keeping the baits running through the slots in the river. One way is to rig up with a bead chain about 30 inches above the plug, which keeps grass or other foreign objects off your line.
Whoa, nice fish. Oh, look at him go. It's a nice heavy fish. I think it's a buck.
Fairly
It's a
fast
slugger.
water.
Yeah, he'll go right back in there.
Well, it might be
Other stuff.
nice if you want to release him is let me roll you over that little gravel barn.
Sure, if you'd like to.
Huh? Want to trade
Sure.
you places?
Sure.
And that might be a little
This
easier.
is kind of fun and different being in the passenger seat. He's just short-lining me, bulldogging.
Where do you want to go?
Let's just go drop down right in the back of this
All right.
stump here. Oh, here he is right
Hang
here.
here by the side of the boat a little bit.
It must be a buck because it seems
Where
to be
is he?
bulldogging.
All
Oh, it's
right.
a nice fish too. It may be. I think it's a spawned out hen, by gosh.
Okay, I'm going to put us in right here.
Oh, she's fresh. It looks like.
Oh,
No, a little color to her. Not too bad.
big hen.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice,
John.
nice
I'm gonna-
native fish.
How we doing?
That's a nice native. She
Okay.
just wants to get in this little eddy and kind of rest, and I won't let her do that.
Well, that's a big hen.
I think I'm only using 10 liter. That's just right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just jump out and show there. You got a pair of pliers?
Here's one.
There's a pair right here.
Okay.
There's one. Oh! She took a dive on me then. Nice sized fish.
Boy, it's a big long hen.
Yeah. I'm not sure if she spawned out yet or not.
Looks like it may be a hatchery fish. That fouled up dorsal fin like they get
It
from
does.
rubbing on the hatchery walls and nibbling on each other. Get on those rocks. Get over those rocks. There you
Oh,
go.
that's a beautiful fish.
What a pretty fish. Uh-oh.
Oh, there she
Yeah,
came up.
I knew it too. There
That's
she
okay.
goes,
We're
John.
going to release her anyway.
Yeah.
That was a nice fighting
Well,
fish.
I had a hold of her for you. You can count that one. If we'd have wanted it, we'd have had it.
Yeah, that was a strong fish.
Way to go.
When back trolling plugs, it's another task for the guy in the row seat. It's his job to keep the plugs going down the slot, and it's important to keep the plugs working properly to allow the plug to work with plenty of power in the butt to set the hook.
See that house across from you, Larry?
Yeah, big nice place there.
Yeah, it's Lena Fletcher's house. She was before she passed on here a couple years ago. Her father was one of the original homesteaders up in the upper River Valley.
Huh.
They called him the Iron Man of the Hoe because he packed a cast iron cook stove across this river on his back for his homestead.
I'll be darned. And Iron Man of the Hole.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there's been books written on him, and
Huh.
With a bead chain about 30 inches above the plug, which keeps grass or other foreign objects off your line. That'll affect how the plug dives. Another is to use a plug-type rod, such as the Hotshot Magnum from Lamaglass, or this 8-foot fiberglass rod. Both feature a soft, fast-action tip to allow the plug to work with plenty of power in the butt to set the hook.
it just cleared it.